hope that my lawsuit will set precedents and that Albertans are never medically segregated again.
The pizza man, Jesse Johnson, who lost everything to the government during COVID-19, is back in business, and his business is thriving. Not only that, he is suing the government.
They tried to avoid precedents by dropping my charges, but thankfully there was freedom-loving individuals all across the world who believed in my cause and have contributed to my cause. We are suing the city of Calgary, the province of Alberta, and Dina Hinshaw, and specifically Dina Hinshaw because we want to have a face for the criminal crimes that were created and not just be some nameless entity of the government. And so she will have to attest for what she did to the people of Alberta. You know, and that's the funny thing, right, is that they control the narrative all along the way, and they have the power to drop their charges and all that to avoid setting precedents. But I think for the first time that I truly do have the ability to set precedents. And if I do win my civil suit, it is my hope that Albertans will never be medically segregated again. Before I had 50 people working for me. Now it's just me and a truck. And we do Detroit-style pizzas here. It's POW pizza. After the shutdown WAP, I end up as a POW in the middle of Windermere. And I love it. This truck, we actually used to be parked out back of my restaurant in Calgary. We were so busy that this truck did all the takeout and delivery. Once the apocalypse came, this truck just became a dinosaur. We had no use for it whatsoever. I think subconsciously for what eventually did happen, where the state literally came in and seized my restaurant, destroyed my business of 20 years because I fed a man a pizza. Absolute lunacy what happened in Canada, fortunately. Naheed Nenshi, yes. Now he's running to be the leader of the NDP, and he's still not been held accountable for the reprehensible crime of medical segregation, which I believe is a crime against humanity. He illegally segregated over 400,000 healthy Calgarians. The vaccine passport was deemed unlawful by the Court of King's Bench in July of 2023, and he is now guilty of very serious crimes, and I believe that he should be held accountable for his crimes like everyone else in Canada. And the crime that they accused me of doing was actually not a crime whatsoever. It was me who obeyed the law, both the law of the land, the charter, and God's law as well. And it was Naheed Nenshi, Jason Kenney, and all the criminal politicians who created terrible crimes against the people of Canada, segregated us, divided us over political science. And that's what happened in that Ingram decision, where it was discovered that Dina Hinshaw was not making any of the medical decisions. It was all Jason Kenney. All the science was political science, and she was simply a puppet for his regime. I believe what happened to me was a miracle, to be quite honest with you. I went from exactly no chance of winning my case. They had written into the Public Health Act, Section 66.1, which essentially gave them blanket immunity from any wrongdoing that they may cause to business or person by their reprehensible actions. And unbeknownst to me, even though I thought what they did was a crime, the way that they had written the laws, coincidentally, just a short time before the apocalypse, was that they could do anything they want. Dina Hinshaw was literally given the power of Caesar. She could have literally shot unvaccinated people on the street, and all she had to say was that it was for the better good. The way that it was written into her powers was that by any means necessary. This lady was literally an unelected bureaucrat, hardly even a doctor whatsoever, and she's been given all the power of God in this free democratic, or supposedly free democratic country. It was crazy. And that decision, the Ingram decision, brought forth by Rebecca Ingram, a close friend of mine who owned a gym in Calgary called The Gym. And she was one of the first brave people to stand up to the tyranny, and she took AHS and Dina Hinshaw to court under constitutional challenges that this breached the charter and this was against the Bill of Rights, and there was a lot of hope riding on that case. Of course, they made the decision take as long as humanly possible. And when the decision came out, unfortunately, it wasn't the great win for freedom per se, in that the charter challenges were not upheld. But it was in that court case where my lawyer, Leighton Gray and Jeffrey Rath, under cross-examination, it was revealed that Dina Hinshaw was just simply a puppet. She was a cocktail waitress for Jason Kenney. Yeah. an absolutely criminal deed what they did. And so although it was a loss for freedom per se, in that 2 years later, your mass ticket or your non-compliance ticket, the outcome, maybe you got your ticket reversed, but no big deal. But for me, it was literally a miracle. It went from me having essentially a 0% chance of seeking retribution for the crimes that they've committed to, I believe, 100% chance of me receiving the retribution. I view it literally as a miracle from God. And when I spoke up, I've replayed it a million times in my mind as to why I did that. I love that restaurant. I truly did. I loved it to a fault. I loved it when I should have been giving that love to other things in my life. But I spoke out for a number of different reasons. First was fear. I was fearful that they were going to make me do something that I didn't want to do in order to run my business. And I also thought that it was against the law. I spent a lot of time in the courts of Calgary with a friend of mine who was a Crown prosecutor, and I came to think of the Charter as being something that protected Canadians. It's only now that I realize that the Charter is only there to protect criminals, and it does nothing but persecute the Canadians. And until Section 1 of the Charter is removed, no single Canadian has any rights or freedoms at all. I'm really happy. They dropped all my charges because they wanted to avoid setting precedents, and normally that would have worked. But I think what happened to me was a special situation that resonated with a lot of Canadians and a lot of people around the world who really, hope is more contagious than the virus, and so is courage. And I think what I did made a lot of people realize that it's the people who are the power, and all we need to do is unite together and stand up in defiance of this tyrannical regime, and eventually we'll starve the beast system.
You stood up for your principles. What did that cost?
It cost me everything I loved. It cost me my restaurant. It cost me my other 2 restaurants that I had in Calgary. It cost me my marriage. It cost me my family. It cost me my houses. It cost me my wealth. And it cost me a good portion of my sanity as well, I believe. Through faith, I've learned that what they took from me is of no value whatsoever, and they cannot take my eternal soul. They cannot take my creativity, and they cannot take my indomitable spirit, and there's nobody that can take that from me except death itself. And even then, I shall still succeed with the aid of Jesus Christ on my side. My story has become very well known throughout Canada and North America, and I think this place has been starting to become known as a place for freedom lovers. Every single day somebody comes to show their appreciation and admiration, and just to come and get the best Detroit-style pizza there is. I'm open all summer long, 12 to 9. We're in Windermere, British Columbia. We have this beautiful outdoor deck, the fire, and beautiful people in a beautiful valley. And you can also support me by contributing to my legal fund at Gov't under Without Papers Pizza. And there'll also be an e-transfer link on our website at wopizza.ca. I am proud to be a Canadian. Yes, absolutely proud to be a Canadian. Born and raised in this beautiful country. I think I stood up for the rights and freedoms of all Canadians, not just the unvaccinated, but both of us, or all of us. And I love this country. I love it very, very much. I think it's the most beautiful, inspirational, magnificent place in the whole world. And we only have just a few problems with it, and all of them are sitting in government right now. Fuck Trudeau!
If you appreciate the stories I do, please consider donating at mediabizergan.com/donate so I could afford to bring you more news like this one that other media can't. Thank you.